Om. 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 Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tat Padam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vedyagravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Jai Guru. Yata Sarvani Bhutani Pratibhanti Sthitani Cha Yatraivo Pashamam Yanti Tasmai Satyatmane Namaha. So where are we in our text?
We're in chapter 30 and verse 10, 11.
Chapter 30, verse 10, 11.
What page is that, Mark? Oh,
It's 315 at the bottom.
should I start?
Please.
Deho ham iti ya buddhi sa sansara nibandhini na kadachit iyam buddhi adeyahi mumukshibhi. The idea, I am the body, is one that binds the person to worldly existence. This idea should never indeed be taken or resorted to by seekers after liberation.
Yes. So this is the bija vasana, the seed attachment. And if you're still and you're not in a lot of pain, you can understand it logically. Take a deep breath. You know the breath in the body the same way you know the water glass or the chair. It's an object of cognition. But boy, if you get a disease or a pain or something like that, it's a tough one. It is really powerful. But if you can be diligent in the practice, I am not the body, I am the witnessing consciousness, it can be broken. It's just a very long and very vivid habit. It's not even our direct experience in the end. So there is no freedom through pampering the body. I call this Marin County spirituality. Oh yes, I'm going to the hot baths, and I'm getting a massage, and then I'm getting energy work all over, and then cranial work. Then we're going to do tantric breathing to improve our sex life. You know, all this stuff to try to enhance body well-being. I'm not saying that this is inherently wrong, but there's no freedom in it. There's no freedom in it. My opinion, treat the body like a car. Now, if you read Shankara, I take issue with Shankara on occasion. I think Shankara lapses into flesh hating. Oh, the disgusting body, skin, bones, blood, guts filled with urine and feces. It's so disgusting. There's no freedom in that either. You don't want to be looking at the body with aversion. I rationalize it because his target audience was probably young Brahmin boys from 16 to say 20 or 22. Guess what they think about all the time? But my view is you want to treat your body like a car. Some of us have a BMW, a whole lot of us have an old Toyota. But what do? Rotate the tires, keep them inflated, change the oil on a regular basis, go get a tune-up, run it through the car wash. But you are not your car or your motorcycle. It's a vehicle to get you from point A to point P. The body is essentially an instrument for the realization of Brahman. That's what it's for. I laugh with so many of these young people. They dress to the nines, and I don't want people to look at me as a sex object. Well, you're not a sex object, you're Brahman. But your body is a sex object. What else is it? Of course, people look at it that way. It's what it's designed to be. And I say, everything you wear is a statement. Oh, I only wear jeans and t-shirts. That's me. No, that's a statement you make. You can either make the statements consciously or unconsciously, habitually or deliberately. I was talking with a guy and he was high powered. What do they call the guys who do investments? They attract a lot of capital in an investment.
Venture capitalists.
Venture capitalists, yeah. And he was going to some sort of an event or something like that. And he says, well, drag out the coat and tie. And he says, oh no, second level managers wear coats and ties. People at my level are really expensive business casual.
Wow.
It's funny how when you were in the corporate world,
Yeah.
did you find the same sort of
I mean,
thing?
it's more relaxed in the Silicon Valley, but yeah, there's definitely, as you get up there, the clothes become important.
Become what?
Become important, and
Yeah.
they present.
But you can be very casual.
Yeah.
But people notice if it's Amazon.com stuff.
I remember there was a book called American Psycho, and I never read it or saw the movie, but there was this huge thing about your business card. Like it had to be this, like all these things, and if it wasn't exactly right, it showed that you weren't one of the whatevers.
But the whole point I'm getting at is see our presentation in the world as a way of communication. That's all it is. That's all it is. Women in politics wear power suits. You almost never see women at high level in politics in dresses anymore. They always wear pantsuits, usually with nice squared shoulders, stuff like that. It's just a way of presenting that people pick up unconsciously. And the same thing with your body, with your hair, with your makeup. Do you worry about your makeup?
Sometimes.
It's flawless.
Anyway, so, but the thing you want to do is make sure you understand the body is not you. It's an instrument. It's a vehicle. And what is the dharma of the body? It is born, it grows up, it gets sick, and it dies. Or as Shankara calls it, the Annamaya Kosha. Annam is cooked rice. It's the food tube. You eat a mountain of food and you produce a mountain of poop. And in the end, you are food for worms or fishes. That's the destiny of everybody. All right, next verse.
Saniveshan Shavai Chitriyam Yatha Hemnonga Dadita Atmana Tattarupa Tathaiva Jagadadita. As the state of a bracelet and the like assumed by gold is due to the combination of the diversity or strangeness of the portion, just so the state of the world and the like assumed by the self is of the same unreal nature.
So this is an interesting point. Is the world real or is the world illusion? This is a very interesting question. It all has to do with what we mean by real and what we mean by illusion. If two cars have a head-on collision and all the parts are scattered all over the highway and the pieces of the occupants scattered all over the highway, it's not happening. It happened. But what the scriptures say is, what is the material cause of the universe? So here Vasishtha is using gold and gold ornaments. They're all gold, no matter what shape they're in, whether the bracelet gets broken or not. Gold is gold. Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. All this is Brahman. The material cause of the world, the stuff out of which it's made, and it is Brahman. What is Brahman? Prajnanam Brahma. Brahman's consciousness. So how have the names and forms come about? Sankalpena. We shape the Saguna Brahman by means of intention, imagination, will, thought, desire. But it never leaves its swabhava. It never stops being Brahman. Right where the trouble seems to be, there God is. And all of the deep schools of metaphysical and spiritual healing are rooted in a deep understanding of this. Well, you can't heal that. That's physical, Jim. Yes, it's physical, but what is a physical body? A physical body is mind. It's nothing other than mind. Mind is consciousness, Chaitanya, Chitta, Prakriti, all it ever is. And it's far more plastic than we think. And we hear about yogis who use the philosophical term as a fetish through gems or mantras or yantras, and they're able to do things, heal people, make things happen, have cities and fly through the air and stuff like that. What's the underlying principle? Sarvam kalvidam brahma. So as a yogi matures in her practice, she pays attention to the contents of mind. Now, thank God, the vast majority of people in ignorance have the deeply rooted belief that their mind states have no power. Life would be a much worse off state if they realize the truth. They literally use the power, the law of mind in action to disempower their own minds. The yogi knows better. Yogi knows better. So the Buddhists have this great teaching on right speech. Why is speech so important? When we had the exegesis of mantra, manas tra, speech is a vehicle for the mind. Do good, be good, intend the well-being of the world. Any thoughts on this? Just as all gold ornaments are nothing but gold, so the phenomenal world. We say mithya, illusory. What we mean by that is it's not some object separated from me that's concrete and over there. That's the illusion. My concept of the world is what's illusory. The world is, but what is it? Any thoughts on this?
Jim,
Question out there?
yes, this is Atik. Could you help comment on how the illusory world and what I think is the Vikshepa Shakti, the projecting power, are they related? Are they different?
That's a very good question. So, for the person in ignorance, first is the non-apprehension of myself as Brahman, and also the non-apprehension of the world as Brahman. Then the Vikshepa Shakti. I have an idea that I'm a person. That becomes grossified into the body. If it becomes easy to understand if you go to the dream state. In the dream state, you first have the non-apprehension of yourself as the waker. That's called deep sleep. Then the Vikshepa Shakti. So your one unified mind, which is just an individualized lump of mind, creates a dream body to which the ego gets identified. And then the world out there appears separate from me in the dream. But upon awakening, you know it's not. This is no different. But it's a twofold adhyasa. It's a twofold superimposition. The first superimposition is Ishvara. You, Atik, I, Jim, Wendy, we are not creating the Andromeda galaxy. We have nothing to do with black holes. We have nothing to do with the speed of light. That's Ishvara. That's the Lord. That's what Ishvara means. He who wishes, he who wills. But we participate in it to a limited degree. First, every time you have a project, every time you have an intention. So we were talking the other day, and you were talking about studying some piano pieces. And so have you sat down and improvised and played something at the piano?
Yes.
That's your sankalpa.
Mm.
That's God moving through you in the creative process in the individual.
Mhm.
You see, now we not only have that level of participating in the divine process, but you and I and everybody else superimpose value and judgment on an essentially neutral world. So, for example, is a black hole good, bad, right, wrong, just, or unjust? It just is. Is gravity good, bad, right, wrong, just, or unjust? It just is. Oh, but this politician, they are a jerk. Oh, they're so bad and so evil. Oh, those other people. Oh, my ex, so terrible. Oh, we have, or someone says, oh, I love them. They're the best. All of that is sankalpa, my superimposition on an essentially neutral world. And then I start treating it as other, and I start reacting to it, and then I get, there's a wonderful good Yiddish word, mishigas. Do you know this one, Michael?
Yeah, I've heard it.
Huh?
I've heard it, yeah.
Mishigas, craziness. Someone who's involved in mishigas is mishugana. This is New York.
Yes.
We're talking about accents. Did that make it a little clearer, Atik?
Yes, I have a follow-up question then.
Please.
So, so you're saying that's Ishvara, I get it. And we're not the black hole, we're not this. But if we were to, take a step, higher, and it all does collapse into Ishvara, and it's all Brahman, it's all Ishvara, correct? It's not separate.
What did you say collapse? What do you mean by collapse?
Means when the superimposition is removed, it all becomes one.
Does the superimposition ever get removed?
It was never there to start with.
Yes, it is. The locus of Maya is Brahman. Brahman is always Maya-ing. Over and over again, eternally. Just like saying, when the images stop being in the mirror, Can the mirror ever stop reflecting?
No.
Can the spatika, the crystal ball, ever stop having images appear in it? It is its nature. So the point is not to make everything go away. The point is for the person of steady wisdom to see the world as it really is. It's not separate from me. It's not separate from consciousness. It's not inherently good or bad. It is nothing but Brahman, consciousness, Saguna Brahman, Brahman with qualities, Prakriti, nature, Chaitanya, the movement of consciousness. How did all this stuff get here? Sankalpena, people's concepts. Why is there war going on in the Middle East? People's concepts. Deeply rooted belief systems. I'm good, you're bad. I'm threatened, I need to fight and protect. But that doesn't have to be your concept. Real life story. I've told this before. Beginning of COVID, had a kid sitting over on the couch, right where were you? Puneet was sitting. And he'd gone down a rabbit hole about big pharma and vaccine denying, and they're out to manipulate us and stuff like that. And he's going on, and anger and fear and mistrust and yada, 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 yada. And I said, stop. I don't live in your world. You're welcome to your world of fear. But I live and move and have my being in God. I live in a beneficent universe. That's a universe that's well-being by nature, that conspires for my well-being, because I'm a part as an individual of God's wonderful, magnificent Leela, if I let it. But if I get stupid and start doing battle with the infinite, that's like a person going to the ocean and saying, all right, waves, you come at me, I'm going to fight you. Not stupid. That's why we have these teachings. Ishvara pranidhana. What's that mean? Trustful surrender to God. Now you will have your sankalpas. Hopefully they're for the good of the world. But you never know. Is that helpful?
Yes, Jim.
All right. Any other questions on this? Going on.
Ajaramara Ram Ajaramaramaram Atmanam Abudhva Pariroditi Ham Hatoham Anathoham Nashtosmiti Papukshaya. Not knowing the undecaying and immortal self, one weeps around on the decline or destruction of the body thus: alas, I am slain or struck. I am helpless, I am lost.
Yes.
I think we skipped 12, 13.
I'm sorry. The 12th one. Kuchakotara Sansuktam Vismritya Janani Sutam Yatha roditi putrartham tathar artham ayam janah. As a mother, forgetting the child that is sleeping well on her bosom, weeps for the child that is in search of the child, so does this person for the sake of the self.
So we have this strange idea. I don't know who I am. God is far away. I, Jim, want to realize the self out there. You realize, oh no, I'm very stupid. I suffer, I suffer, I suffer. I'm being roasted in the fire of change, as Shankara says, tossed about by the waves, caught with a crocodile of desire and pulled under. What we are looking for, we are looking with. And it's so simple. You go to some public event, a cocktail party, art gallery opening, or anything like that, a political event, and you're schmoozing and you meet a new person. Well, tell me about yourself. How do they usually answer?
The career,
Hmm?
their job.
Their job, their career, their education, where they live, their cultural background. Yeah, a story. What's the story of? Their body.
It would be weird to say, I am Brahman when you meet somebody.
Try it.
Yeah.
Swamiji did it
Hmm.
most of the time. I go nowhere. I have no desire. People will look at you funny in the best way. Depends on your product. But you know you are. But if you identify with the body and the body's stories and the body's successes and failures, and you get caught up in other people's bodies and their behavior, they're doing it right or they're doing it wrong, then we suffer. So, going on.
Ajaramara ram atmanam abudva pariroditi hahatoham anathoham nattosmiti vapukshaye. Not knowing the undecaying and immortal self, one weeps around on the decline or destruction of the body thus. Alas, I am slain or struck. I am helpless, I am lost.
Yeah. I was talking with a woman today. I love her very much. And she has a squamous cell on her leg. And they operated on it and it's in the muscle. And they can't get it. So now she's got to do radiation. And she's terrified. Just terrified. She was just in hysterics on the phone. Suffering so deeply, so frightened. It's paralyzing her. She can't work. She's no kid. She's 65, but not quite old enough for Social Security. I don't know if she's got Medicare yet or not. Just paralyzed with fear. All of it because she thinks she's the body. She's afraid she's going to die. And her spiritual tradition is manifesting. This is kind of this new agey thing that if you do enough affirmations and visualizations and you will it into existence, there's a very limited understanding of Sankalpa with that. Because it doesn't deal with a much deeper idea. It's still rooted in the notion getting what I want will make me happy. And the deep, deep understanding that surrendering to God's will coming through me takes all the willfulness and the burden out of it. Become a vehicle, a channel, an instrument. But you know, it was hard to talk her off the edge. She doesn't have faith in a God that cares for her, let alone an understanding that she is birthless, changeless, and deathless. Her mind is telling her it's all about, I've got to do it my will. I've got to just suck it up and muscle my way through life. And it's exhausting. She's just exhausted. I would be exhausted too. But have you and I done things like that? And so much of it, deep, deep bija vasana. I am the body. You know me, I can be blunt. I said, you know, all of us have to confront our mortality. Try thinking of it as an adventure. Click. She hung up. I don't want to hear it. God bless her. She knows I love her. But we've all gotten willful, demanding, judgmental. Ego song. From now on, we're going to do things my way, or not at all. You know that old Broadway song? That's ego's chant. That's so painful. So painful. Next one.
अनात्मन्यात्मताम् अस्मिन् देहादौ दृश्यजालके त्यक्त्वा सत्त्वम् उपारूढो गूढतिष्ठ यथा सुखम्. Giving up the superimposition of the nature of the self on the non-self, such as the body and the web of visible objects, and attaining to sattva or purity, knowledge, and harmony, remain hidden at will.
Remain hidden. Oh, interesting. So the reference here, the technical term, anyonya adhyasa, mutual superimposition. The first superimposition, I superimpose upon the self the qualities of the not self. I think I am the body or the subtle body, the ego sense. I think I'm my family. I think I'm my education. I think I'm my culture. But the other superimposition is I superimpose upon the world of name and form, externalized the inherent swadbhava of the self. Puneet is, and he's over there separate from me. I'm just using him as an example. Sat. Chit. Soundarya is conscious, and her consciousness is different than mine. I'm not sure I like it. Over there. And the hardest one, Ananda. When not only that, she makes good tarts. Ananda's all over there. Mutual superimposition. I superimpose on the self the qualities of the not self. And I superimpose on the not self, externalized the qualities of the self. That's the problem. That's the problem. Anyonya abhyasa. Mutual superimposition. What's the truth? Satchidananda Rupaham. My nature, I am existence, consciousness, and bliss. What's my relationship with the world of name and form? Asanguham, 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 punah, punaha. Or the way you chant it, you taught me punaf, punaha, right?
Yep.
I like my way better. What is this world? World is, remember. But what is it? Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma, it's all Brahman. It looks like a world of name and form. It is names and forms, but they're not separate from consciousness. Their material cause is consciousness. What is sin, sickness, and death? Sankalpa. Just a form, a pot. The ground of being, the only bhava that is, never changes. Going on.
सर्गात्मभिः विभू स्पन्दै क्रीडते बालवत् स्वयं संहारात्मा कशक्यार्थ संहृत्यात्मनि तिष्ठति. The all-pervading one sports by himself like a child through movements of the nature of creation. Then, by his energy of the nature of destruction, having withdrawn the created universe, he abides in his own self.
Yes. So the Western world thinks of time in a linear fashion. South Asians think of it largely as circular. Keeps going round and round, round and round. And he's used a word here, spanda. Spanda means to vibrate. Someone say something?
That was the computer.
Oh. Some schools, the tantric schools, will say that the names and forms come about because consciousness vibrates, spanda. The pure Advaita Vedantins say, no, it shows up, but nothing really moves. Don't worry about it. The point that's most important, Saravam Kalvidam Brahma, it's all consciousness, it's all God. It's all okay. Now, in this verse, there's what appears like the attribution of anthropomorphic qualities to the infinite. God sports with the creation. I don't think God's got feelings like that. It just is. It just is. And going back to Atik's question earlier, will there be a big crunch after so many billions of years after the Big Bang? Who knows? The yogic scriptures or the Hindu Vedic scriptures would say there'll be another creation after there's a destruction. It's way above my pay grade. But if we look at all of the names and forms, they come out of the unmanifest. They exist for a time, constantly changing, and then they go back into an unmanifest form. Everything is on loan from God. We don't really own anything, not even the body. So, what do we do with a deep understanding this? Cherish the forms. Don't be attached. Live today as if this were your last day, that you were going to die in your sleep tonight. It's the last time we will see one another. The last meal you'll get. The last evening you'll get to have a chance to walk in when it's warm. Cherish it. And endeavor to live every moment like that. Again, the Hebrew psalmist says, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. I love that one. Next verse.
अहो नु चित्रमायेयं तात विश्वविमोहिनी Sarvanga proktam apyetam yat atmanam na pashyati. Ah, my child, this illusion bewildering the universe is indeed wonderful, since one does not perceive the self through extending throughout, though extending throughout the body.
Yes. So the self pervades everything. Just like again in the dream, your mind pervades every person, place, thing, situation, emotion, thought, etc. None of it is outside your mind. Your mind is the material cause, the instrumental cause, the efficient cause. All of this is the same. Yet, such is the nature of Maya that the beings in this world do not know their real nature. Because of that, mind gets identified with body, desire and aversion arises, and that's what makes the world go round. That's all part of God's design. Well, I don't like his design. That's like saying I don't like gravity. It is. And in every generation and in every culture, there are a few who cross over Maya, are free. Next verse.
Idam ramyam idam neti bijam tat dukkha santate tasmin samanya agnina dagde dukkha yavasa kutaha. This is pleasing, this is not. That idea is the seed or origin of the succession of sorrows. When that is burnt by the fire of equality, where is the occasion for sorrow?
Yes. So I love the way Nisargadatta Maharaj frames it. He says, worldly pleasure and suffering are the same thing. If you imbue the world with pleasure, you will suffer because of the nature of the world. It is finite and it is transient and it's inherently shunyata, void, empty. What are you doing with that little saw, Jim? I'm taking all my nickels. I'm removing all the tails. I only want heads. Can't do it. Coin has a heads and a tails. Every event, if it has happiness, and I think that's real, I invest in that object. That's where the juice is. I will suffer. Us. No exceptions. The fool, the bogey, wants happiness. And he tries to maximize happiness by satisfying as many desires as possible. The end result is heartache. The yogi also wants happiness, but doesn't stupidly look to the world for it. She knows Chidananda Rupaham. My nature is bliss consciousness. Shivoham. She This is this equanimity where the mind no longer extroverts into the world. This woman that I was chatting with on the phone, not only is she totally freaked out about her leg, but she's single. She says, I need to be held. I need to be held. It's a human need. I have to be held, and there's no one here to hold me. Such deep suffering. Oh, I forgot to tell you, the dude that used to hold her, she broke up with him and then he died. Happiness and suffering are the same thing. Asanguham, 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 puna, naha, Satchidananda Rupam, aham mevaham vavyaya. Unattached, unattached, unattached am I again and again. My nature is pure existence, consciousness, and bliss absolute, the fountainhead, the wellspring of all joy. I am that I am, immutable. But such is the power of Maya. How many times have I heard it? And how many times have I forgot it? Next one.
Section 2. Yoga Bhumika.
Yes.
Question. How many times I remember and how many times I forget it? Each time I fall asleep, I forget it. Next day morning, I have to remember again. How one can continue to remember as the person moves through the day.
I wouldn't worry about deep sleep. Nobody ever got enlightened in deep sleep. Our problem is when I have the spiritual sleep of the waking state. Because you don't suffer in deep sleep. I suffer in the waking state, sometimes in the dream state. But the suffering that afflicts me is in the waking state. Why do I suffer? I suffer in the waking state first, Avarana Shakti. I forget I'm Brahman. I forget the world is Brahman. Vikshepa Shakti. I think I'm a person. I think I'm Jim. And that stuff out there is real and serious business. And I start to look to the world for happiness. I might get it for a little bit, but then it turns to shit in my hands. Always. Don't believe me. Look to your direct experience. That doesn't mean not to act in the world. But don't expect something out of the world that it can't give. So I can only share with you what I found incredibly useful in my own sadhana. I made like a slogan, a mantra out of it. If I think I'm a person, I'm deluded. Stop, Jim. Everything my mind posits after that as a solution has as its basis stupidity, mudha. I'm a fool. Instead, remember who I am. Remember what the world is. And you've had tastes of it, Nilan. I know you have. I can feel it. The hard part is when I'm ego identified to remember. Because ignorance is beginningless. That doesn't mean way back from the Big Bang. It's beginningless the way a dream is beginningless. They don't roll the credits at the beginning of a dream. When you have a dream, its nature is there's an unexamined, assumed cause and effect past. Isn't that your direct experience? Mm-hmm. Dream is beginningless, meaning there is no beginning to the dream. From the outside, I can say, oh, Nilang's eyes are going back and forth, rapid eye movement, he's dreaming. But inside the dream, I have no experience of it beginning. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Spiritual ignorance is exactly the same. You never see it come upon you.
Just thought.
You know, when you're ego identified, it's always been this way. This is the way it is, and it's real. Isn't that our direct experience?
Mm-hmm.
But you can get out if you can remember. I call it the fortune cookie in the dream. There I am in a Chinese restaurant in the middle of my dream. I open up the fortune cookie and the fortune says, Jim, don't believe anything that's going on. You're dreaming. The fortune cookie in the dream. Oh, okay. So the fortune cookie in the dream. If I think I'm a person, I'm deluded. Always, without exception, including if I think I'm a realized person. That can be a whole S-load of trouble. What do I do? Oh, wait a minute, Koam, who am I? Satchidananda, I am existence. Consciousness, bliss. Yeah, but I'm unhappy. Well, what is the cause of my unhappiness? Karma. I'm attached, I'm identified. Let the effing go. Yeah, but. Let go. That's right. Chidananda. Oh, I remember.
Jim, is that what you mean by don't do anything, just sit there, right?
Well, these are just slogans I make up. They're just ways to, they're mnemonic devices is what they are. They're ways to try to remember a spiritual principle and apply it.
Thank you.
That's why I love that poem, Pratasmarami. Pratasmarami, the sound. Remember, you learned that at the beginning of the last Atmabodha class. Remember?
Yes, but I don't recall it right now.
But what is prata in the early morning? Smarami. What's that mean?
Remember,
I remember. Swamiji translates I meditate, but it doesn't mean that. It means I remember. Oh, yeah. In my heart. I'm not partless from. That's a beautiful poem of Shankara's. One of my favorites. But that's the hardest thing to do when we're in what I call the yo-yo stage. Sometimes I remember, then I forget. Sometimes I remember, sometimes I forget. Then you're a jnani of tenuous mind. When you remember who you are, yes, you are a jnani. When you forget, you suffer like any other fool. But the good news, your knowledge will return. And you, well, why, God, did I get triggered? So what do? Again, good old Shloka 267 and Viveka Chudamani, even after realization of the truth, there exists a strong impression that one is the karta, the doer, which is the cause for rebirth, meaning I re-identify. It has to be conscientiously rooted out through steady and continuous identification with the self. It is the annihilation of the vasanas here and now. That's considered liberation by the wise. How do I know my mind is freed from vasana?
You remember who you are.
Yeah. How do I know I'm under the throes of vasana?
Forget.
I think I'm a person. Avarana Shakti, Vikshepa Shakti. And then in that section, there's a long section on exercises for removing vasana. How to do it. How to actualize 267.
So Jim,
That's great. Yes.
person of steady wisdom has gone beyond verse 267. They've actualized true wisdom. They've
Yes, that's
roasted
correct.
essence. Okay, thank you.
267 is a person with tenuous mind. Their knowledge comes and goes. All right. I don't think we can do another one. It's 9:00. What verse are we on for next week?
Starting the second section.
Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Guru Bhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Om.